Bathroom Breaks and Bedtime Tales presents The Terrorist by Sevastian Winters. My number flickers on the screen, C187. My heart kicks like I've been caught doing something wrong. I stand too fast. Knee pops. Plastic chair legs screech behind me. The air in the waiting room is stale and chemical fake, the kind of recycled stench that clings to your tongue and makes your eyes dry. A baby cries somewhere near the back. A man with a cut lip leans against the far wall, cradling a folder wrapped in a rubber band like it's the only thing he owns. I wipe my palms on my pants and shuffle to the counter where the glass is smudged with fingerprints and desperation. The clerk, easily mid-50s with a coffee-stained yellow tie, doesn't look up as he flips through my file. Form I-765's missing a signature, he says flatly. It was signed, I reply, before I can stop myself. My voice comes out thin. He looks up now, just briefly, not at me, through me. It's not signed now. I can't process your papers until I have that. You'll need to get your employer to sign it. But my work permit is about to expire. I can't help you. You'll have to make another appointment. But it took me 4 months to get this appointment. I can't help you, sir. Come back when your paperwork is complete. I sigh. May I have a copy of what you need, please? You'll have to come back on a different day. The copy machine is broken. The number board beeps again. Another name, another life. I walk out into the sun with my spine stiff and my throat burning. The air outside smells like car exhaust and hot rubber. I sit on the curb and pull out my phone. There's a new message from the work authorization portal. Renewal denied. Processing closed. Do not reapply without legal counsel. I laugh. I laugh because it's either that or start screaming. It's the kind of laugh that turns heads, that makes people edge away like they've seen a crack open up in your skull. My stomach growls, but I can't remember the last thing I ate that wasn't a vending machine granola bar. When I arrive home, I find one of my socks is missing from the clothesline I strung across the radiator before I left. I stand in the doorway holding my keys, hearing nothing but the hum of the fridge and the heavy silence of a place that's been touched. I lock the door behind me. From the bedroom, bleary-eyed but guilty, emerges the sock thief. My orange tabby cat, Barack. I named him after the president whose name has been affixed to my temporary asylum papers since my arrival in America 11 years ago. He purrs as he rubs against my ankles, weaving in and out. Someday, I want to be as happy to see someone as this cat is to see me right now. I reach down and pick him, give him a little squeeze, and kiss him behind the ear. He shakes his head like he's been violated, and together we set off in search of the stolen sock. That night, I drag the dresser in front of the door. Habit. It's silly, but it makes me feel safer. Sleep doesn't come. My neighbor upstairs keeps dropping things. Thuds and scrapes like someone rearranging furniture at 3 a.m. I count them like heartbeats. A police officer is at the corner store when I go to buy eggs. He picks up a bottle of orange soda, studies the label, puts it back. When I walk past, he nods. The clerk's talking too loudly about a customer who tried to pay in loose pennies. I forget to count my change. I don't notice the officer leave so much as I notice eyes are no longer on me. I go to the regional field office again 3 days later in the hopes someone else can help me. It's different this time. 2 armed guards at the door. One of them asks for my name before I can even speak. I give it. He glances at a clipboard and shakes his head. You're not on today's schedule. I'm just trying to find my case manager. His eyes don't blink. We don't keep that information here. You'll have to call and make an appointment. What phone number? You'll have to look online. Please move along, sir. You can't even tell me where to call? He doesn't answer, just steps slightly closer, the threat palpable. I get the message. I back off and find my way to the table where they keep the fresh forms. The copy machine seems to have been fixed. There are at least 200 copies of Form I-765. Small miracles. I take 2, just in case. I don't go home right away. I have to get this stupid form signed again. The warehouse is locked when I get there. There are no trucks backed into docks. It's eerily silent. I take the back stairs, but there is none of the usual buzz of the delivery dock. The rumble of pallets, someone yelling over the forklift. It's not so much quiet as dead, abandoned. I try the main door, locked. I circle to the side entrance. There's a note taped crooked to the glass. This facility has ceased operations. For employment records or final payroll, contact the regional office. No contact listed. No number, no address. I try to call my supervisor. It rings once and goes to voicemail. I try again, straight to voicemail. I sit down on the curb and stare at the door like it might open on its own. My apartment's colder than when I left. I check the thermostat, still set to 63. I turn the dial up, but nothing happens. The radiator's ticking like it's trying, but not getting there. I take off my shoes, wash my face, sit at the table with the form in front of me, and realize I have no idea what to do next. I check the balance on my bank app, $132.17. I start filling out job applications online, but the forms all ask for current work authorization. Every drop-down menu feels like a trap. Eventually, I shut the laptop and sit in the dark, trying to breathe through the noise in my head. 6 weeks later, I find myself at the shelter. I was evicted 2 weeks before. They wouldn't even let me keep my cat. Animal control took him away. Said if I had no place to keep him, he could not come with me. It has been warm enough outside to camp, but police bulldozed the site this morning. My tent, my clothes, everything gone. It's too cold tonight to be outside. I don't even have a coat anymore. A man with a clipboard checks my name against a list and hands me a form. Do you have ID? Yes. Work authorization? Expired. He pauses. Pending? I nod. He writes something at the bottom of the page, then passes me off to a woman who walks me down a hallway with bare concrete walls and flickering lights. She opens a door to a long room with 20 cots and says, Pick one. Quiet after 10. Keep your bag close. I have no bag. She has said this thousands of times to thousands of people. She doesn't even notice my reality. I don't correct her. No one looks up when I enter. The cot creaks when I sit down. The mattress feels like packing foam. The blanket's thin and smells like bleach and dust. My head aches, but I don't lie down yet. I just sit there, hands on my knees, staring at the blank wall across from me. I still think I can fix this. I just don't know how. The job comes from a guy named Malik, 2 cots down in the shelter. Older, friendly enough, walks like he used to have pride in his back. He tells me about a warehouse gig on the North End and says the guy pays cash the same day. Nothing official, Malik says, but it's something. You want it or not? I do. We walk 3 miles to get there. It's not really a warehouse, more like an old loading bay behind a strip mall. Half the lights busted, roof patched with blue tarp. A man with mirrored sunglasses meets us at the back door. Doesn't ask our names, just says 12 an hour, lift, stack, no phones. Inside, it's cold and smells like rotted paper. I lift boxes, stack them, break them down, move them again. There's no rhythm to it, just motion. My back starts to lock after 2 hours, but I keep going. We don't talk. They don't want us talking. At the end of the shift, the man with the glasses hands me a folded 20. Says I can come back tomorrow if I want another. That's it. He stares at me through the lenses like he's not even surprised I asked. You want more? You get papers. You want to complain? Get lost. Malik tugs my sleeve. I take the 20. We don't go back. The bank lobby is bright and cold and smells like printer toner. I am here because I have $17 left and I need to withdraw 10 so I can buy something warm to eat. I hand the teller my card. She swipes it, frowns. Do you have another form of ID? I used this last week, I say. She doesn't respond, calls over her supervisor. A woman in a navy blouse comes over and says, loud enough for everyone in line to hear, "We've flagged this account for review. He shouldn't have access until it clears." Clears what? It's frozen. For what reason? We don't know. It's policy. People behind me shift. I can feel the heat of their eyes on my neck. One man coughs. Another sighs audibly. I ask if I can just close the account. She says no. You'll need to come back with documents proving status. I already gave you everything, she shrugs. Then you'll have to call the hotline. The person behind me says, come on, man, like I'm holding up the world. I leave without the money. Walk 6 blocks to the library just to sit somewhere that doesn't smell like mildew and defeat. The legal aid number goes straight to a call tree. I press 1 for English, 3 for immigration, 2 for asylum follow-up, and hold. After 27 minutes, a woman picks up. Case number, she asks. I read it out from memory. She types. I wait. She says. That's never a good sound. What does it say? It looks like your case was marked inactive 2 weeks ago. What does that mean? It says the deadline passed for your employment renewal. I tried to renew. I submitted everything. The form got rejected because they said it was missing a signature that was already there. Sometimes people miss things. I didn't. She sighs. I continue. I've been trying. I understand, she says. She doesn't. There has to be a way to fix it. I don't think so, she says. You can try filing a motion to reopen. How? You'll need a lawyer. I don't have a lawyer. There's a pause. Then, I'm sorry, sir. I don't have any more advice I can offer you at this time. Click. I stare at the phone in my lap for a long time after that. The shelter's too loud. The sun's going down. My hands are cold. I don't cry. I don't scream. But something goes still in my chest. Like a gear that used to spin has finally locked. I find the number scribbled in the corner of an old intake letter. The one they gave me during my first month in the US, back when everything still felt like it might work out. It's the direct line to my original caseworker. Or at least, it used to be. I call it 3 times before someone answers. Immigration Intake Services. Hi, yes, I'm trying to check the status of my asylum file. I was told it might have been marked inactive, but What's your alien registration number? I give it. There's a pause. I can hear her typing. In the background, the flat buzz of fluorescent lights and the radio playing too low to make out. Then, there's nothing under that number. That's not possible. I've had that number for almost 2 years. I'm telling you, it's not coming up in the system. Can you try my name? She types again. No active case under that name. I'm quiet. She says, if you have documentation, you can come in and file a reactivation request. Do I need an appointment? Walk-ins are accepted, but be prepared to wait. I get there just after 8. There's already a line. Men with folders under their arms, women with children asleep on their laps, someone coughing into a crumpled napkin like they've been doing it all night. The waiting room is too bright and smells like hand sanitizer and stale coffee. A TV on the wall loops a welcome video in 4 languages. I stare at the subtitles. I don't know why. 3 hours in, I still haven't been called. And then I see him, Sammy, from Aleppo, from the same neighborhood, son of a butcher, liar, thief. The last time I saw him, he was bragging at a wedding about how he convinced a volunteer attorney to fake a trauma affidavit for his case. Said all you had to do was cry at the right time and speak in broken English. Told people he practiced looking scared in the mirror. He's wearing designer sneakers now, laughing on the phone in the hallway. Someone behind the desk hands him a manila envelope and says, "You're all set." He grins, slides his approval letter into his bag, walks out with a spring in his step like the world just cracked open for him. I watch him through the glass as he lights a cigarette and hails a cab. My hands don't move. I just sit there, staring at the door he walked through, like it might swing open for me too. It doesn't. I can't sleep that night. Not from the noise, though there's plenty of it. Not from the cold or the stink of the shelter mattress. It's the voice, her voice, on the lounge TV. The Secretary of Homeland Security, standing at a podium, saying words I've heard before but never really felt the way I do now.
She's pretty, but it's the sort of pretty a woman becomes when excess money pays to fix what isn't perfect to the point she's almost ghastly. I think about the 37 cents in my pocket and I scowl.
She drones on through her perfect venom-filled mouth. We are committed to protecting the American people. Our system is being exploited. There are bad actors. People who come here with no intention of contributing, only aching. That ends now. She smiles, revealing 2 white veneers. We're not just closing the loopholes, we're closing the door. People around me are barely listening. One man is snoring. Someone else is whispering into a phone in a language I don't recognize. But I hear it, every word, like they were aimed only at me. I sit up in the dark. My blanket falls to the floor. I don't pick it up. I just sit there and think, you did this to me. A kid throws a French fry at me while I'm waiting outside the shelter a few afternoons later. I'm sitting on the curb, drinking tap water from a plastic takeout cup I rinsed out the day before. The fry bounces off my shoulder and lands in the gutter. The kid laughs. He's maybe 10, holding a Happy Meal. His dad says nothing, just stands there on his phone while his son winds up to throw another. I lock eyes with the boy, and in my head, just for a second, I picture taking his cup from him and shoving it through his mouth, into the back of his smug little mouth, and down his privileged little throat until he's dead. I don't move, but I want to. The father looks up, finally, and pulls the kid back like I'm the problem, like I'm dangerous for sitting there and existing while poor. I go back inside before I do something that gets me arrested. I'm no criminal, but they're beginning to make a lot more sense to me. That night, I see her face again. Homeland Security Barbie. There's a new press conference clip on someone's phone at the end of the cot row. He's got the volume too high, no headphones, and no one tells him to turn it down. Probably thinks he's doing us a favor by keeping us informed. Her voice bleeds through the static. And while we empathize with those seeking refuge, this administration will not be manipulated by bad faith actors. The safety of American families must always come first. I don't know if she means me, or if I've just started assuming everyone does. I stare at her on the tiny screen. Her hair's too perfect. Her suit costs more than everything I've ever owned combined. Her teeth are too white. She wasn't elected, she was appointed. Appointed to close the door. Appointed to speak for a country I did everything right to be part of. And I still ended up sleeping next to a guy who pisses himself and sings to ghosts in Arabic no one else understands. I lie awake long after the clip ends, and the idea doesn't feel strange anymore. If a person like that can make 1,000 lives vanish with a signature, then maybe one signature is all it takes to stop a person like that. Not a plan. Not yet, just a shape in the dark starting to take form. I go to the mosque on 6th, not for prayer. I'm too angry for prayer, but because it's the only place where the coffee is free and the people speak like they haven't forgotten the taste of home.
An old man I recognize sits near the door, reading the Quran with a cracked magnifying glass. His name is Rafiq. He used to drive a taxi before Uber destroyed everything. Now he volunteers full-time. He asks how I'm doing. I lie. He says, "You look thinner." I say, "It's cheaper than a diet." He laughs, but not because it's funny, just because it's easier than crying. I wait until everyone's cleared out. Then I ask if he knows anyone who can help, really help. Someone who doesn't tell you to get in line, or come back next week, or submit another form to a system that already deleted your name. He stares at me too long. Then he says, "There's a guy, doesn't ask questions, helps people who need things off the books." "What kind of things?" He shrugs. "I don't know," he says. "Perhaps things you will find useful." I meet the guy Rafiq talked about in the back room of a hookah lounge that used to be a sandwich shop. The sign above the door still says "Grill and Go," but the windows are blacked out now, and the only light inside is a single red bulb hanging over a cracked glass display case. The air is thick with strawberry smoke and stale sweat. He sits alone at a low table, leaning back like a man who waits for the world to come to him. Late 40s, maybe. Close-cropped beard, yellowed fingers. He looks me over once, like I'm a car he's thinking about buying, but already knows he won't. "You're the one Rafiq mentioned," he says, blowing smoke out the side of his mouth. I nod. "You're angry?" It's not a question. I nod again. "Good," he says. "Angry men are honest." He pours tea from a chipped pot and doesn't offer me any. I sit across from him anyway. I start talking. Not about everything, just about the papers, the shelter, the warehouse, the bank, the case number that doesn't exist anymore. I don't mention the secretary, not yet. He listens without interrupting, committing none of it to memory, like he's heard it all before. When I finish, he leans forward. "You know what your mistake was?" he asks. I wait. "You believed them when they said this country had rules." A slow smile crosses his face. "It only has winners." I feel something hot move through my chest. He taps ashes into an empty bowl. "If someone finally stood up to the people hurting us, do you think anyone would blame him?" I say nothing. But I don't have to. He can see the answer on my face. Back at the shelter, her face is everywhere. On TV, on someone's phone, on a poster in the subway station the shelter uses as an overflow on cold nights. She's doing a media tour, talking about immigration reforms, talking about cracking down, talking about restoring order. There's a schedule. 4 appearances this week. One of them is local, downtown, at a civic center I've walked past 100 times. Town Hall on Public Safety, the poster says, as if safety has anything to do with people like me. A normal person would think nothing of it. But I'm not normal anymore. Not after what happened. Not after what keeps happening. I stare at her printed face on the wall for so long that a man walking by mutters, "Move," like I'm blocking his air. I don't move. I imagine her walking onto a stage in that same powder blue suit, smiling that same frozen smile.
I imagine her saying more words that will close more doors on more people running from hell. I imagine the sound of her heels clicking on the stage floor right before. I shut my eyes and breathe out slowly. Not a plan, just certainty.
I go back to the hookah lounge 2 nights later. It's almost empty. The man is in the same seat, in the same posture, smoking the same brand of tobacco like the whole world is on loop. He sees me and nods, just once. "You figured something out," he says. I did. What? I wet my lips. The words taste bitter coming out. I know what she did to me, I say, and I know what she's still doing to others. He smiles like I've given the correct answer on a test he didn't know I was taking. And what will you do about that? I don't look away. Something that makes them listen. He leans back, satisfied. He doesn't ask how, doesn't ask when, doesn't ask if I'm sure. He just says, "Make it count." As I stand to leave, he adds, "Americans love their weapons. You won't have to look hard to find one." I nod. I already know. I've seen enough movies, heard enough talk at job sites and bus stops. They keep guns the way we kept bread, always within reach. I walk out into the night with a new kind of calm inside me. Not peace, but purpose. A stillness I haven't felt since before the war. The kind that comes right before a man makes a choice he can't take back. Getting a gun will be the easy part. I choose the house because it looks like every American house I've ever seen on TV. Neat lawn, faded basketball hoop, wind chimes that sound like fake rain. The kind of place where nothing bad is supposed to happen. The kind of place where people sleep inside warm walls and never think about someone like me. I watch it for 2 nights from the bus stop across the street. No lights in any room, no car in the driveway, mail piling up behind the slot. Vacation, maybe a holiday, maybe they're visiting grandparents. I don't care. I walk up the driveway like I belong there. The motion light snaps on and washes me in pale yellow. I freeze. Nothing moves. The back window slides open easier than I thought it would. Inside, the house smells like cinnamon and dryer sheets. A blanket is folded on the couch. There are school papers on the fridge held up by souvenir magnets. A painting of a beach hangs above a gas fireplace that turns on with a switch. I stand there too long, just breathing someone else's life. I search the bedroom last. The bedside drawer sticks, but it opens. There it is, wrapped in a cloth. Metal, cold, and small in my hand. Heavier than I expected in one way, lighter in another. I sit on the bed for a full minute, feeling the indentation where someone sleeps. Then I leave. I close the drawer behind me. I lock the back door from the inside and slip out the window the way I came. I don't look back. I walk the city all morning, past the library where I sat trying to warm my hands, past the alley where my tent used to be before they crushed it with a bulldozer, past the bus stop where I first cried in public, covering my face like I had committed a crime, past the warehouse now boarded up, where I wasted 9 months lifting boxes for people who pretended I didn't exist. I let the day carry me. Not because I'm unsure, because I'm saying goodbye. The gun is in a plain paper bag. No one looks twice. Why would they? I'm nobody.
I sit in the plaza for an hour watching pigeons fight over a piece of bread. A child drops a cookie. His mother scolds him. He laughs. I wonder what my mother would say if she saw me now. Probably nothing. Probably just stare. I stand up when the sun starts to drop behind the buildings. It's almost time. The civic center smells like popcorn and floor polish. The crowd is bigger than I expected. Old women in cardigans, men in baseball caps, a few people holding signs about border security, like they know anything about borders. I keep my head down. Nobody checks my bag. Nobody checks me. Why would they? People like me aren't supposed to get this close. She walks out right on schedule. Perfect hair, bright suit, that smile that says nothing she says applies to her. "Thank you for being here tonight," she begins, and her voice flows through the speakers like silk dipped in bleach. "We are at a turning point in our nation's security." I hear the rest, but not really. My heart beats slowly, steady, calmer than it's been in years. I stand. A few people glance at me, annoyed. Someone thinks I'm trying to get a better view. My hand slips into the bag. I pull the gun out. It feels like nothing, like air pretending to be metal. She's still talking. "We must protect American families from those who seek to exploit." I raise my arm. She sees me. Her eyes widen. I fire. The report cracks through the hall like thunder. A woman screams. A man throws himself to the floor. The bullet misses her head by maybe an inch, maybe less. She drops behind the podium as security surges forward. I don't run. I don't fire again. I don't fight. Hands slam me to the ground. A knee digs into my spine. Someone shouts, "Weapon secured." Someone else screams, "He tried to kill her." Someone kicks me in the ribs, even though I'm already pinned. The floor smells like cleaning chemicals and old gum. I close my eyes. I don't resist. For the first time in months, I feel warm. They process me like I'm paperwork. No questions, no explanations, just commands. Strip, squat, cuff, hold your arms out, turn around. The jumpsuit smells like detergent and piss. It's 3 sizes too big. The cuffs cover my hands. The guard tells me to roll them up or trip. His voice has the tone of someone who's bored of existing near me. They put me in isolation for the first 3 days. "It's for your safety," growls a guard just before he punches me in the ribs. They feel broken. I can barely breathe. Fluorescent lights buzz overhead. They never turn off. No window. A concrete bench and a toilet welded to the wall. The food comes in through a slot. I stop eating it after the second tray. I'm not hungry. I'm not anything. On the 4th day, they take me to a room with a television bolted high in the corner. I think it's for orientation. It's not. It's the news. The headline reads, Asylum seeker attempts to assassinate DHS secretary at public event. An anchor with a silky smooth voice he carries with the tone of ominous conspiracy wrapped decoratively in a layer of the sort of fear everyone listening should feel, mispronounces my name when he says, "Here's everything we know about would-be assassin Mohammed Tariq Rami." A picture of me appears on screen. They have darkened my skin to make me look scarier. It's a video still from the moment before I fired. My face is frozen, eyes wide, mouth tight. I look like a man possessed. Not broken, not desperate. Just evil. They chose this frame on purpose. There's no mention of missed paperwork, no warehouse closure, no camp bulldozed, no cold nights, no ruined file number. The secretary gives a statement. She stands in front of the Capitol with flags waving behind her like they're choreographed. This tragic event only confirms what many of us already feared, she says. She blames a former political rival for my crime. She says he created a porous immigration system that threatens national security. As of today, we are enacting an emergency executive order that halts all asylum processing for non-citizens from high-risk regions until further notice. They call it the Liberty and Safety Act. The crowd claps. The ticker at the bottom glows red. Markets are up. I stare at the screen and feel nothing. I tried to make them listen. Instead, they made me into exactly what they needed. General population is worse than the isolation cell. The guards barely look at me. The other inmates look too much. My name gets passed around fast. Some call me the shooter. Some say terrorist. One guy just says the ab. I stop trying to explain. A white man with a spider web tattoo on his neck sits across from me at chow. He doesn't speak, just smiles without his teeth. His eyes say everything. The next day, someone pisses on my mattress. The day after that, the guards lose my commissary form. They tell me I'll be transferred soon. Federal facility, one says. More your type. I don't ask what that means. It happens in the shower. 4 of them. One holds me down by the back of my neck. The others slide pieces of sharpened plastic between my ribs, like they're trying to get something out, not put something in. It happens so fast. I don't scream. I can't. I don't have the breath. The water keeps running, turning pink, and then red, and then thin again. They leave me there, curled on the floor, eyes open. Above me, someone has used my blood to write on the tile, "Go home, terrorist." But I don't have a home. I don't even have a heartbeat. Not anymore.